Somebody had to wear a cowboy hat in Tennessee, didn't they? I asked Stuart where his cowboy hat was, and he said, I've never worn a cowboy hat. And I said, well, you're going to wear one today. Who wants to see Stuart wear a cowboy hat? Come on.
Is it Gucci?
I'm not sure that's a thing.
Come on, go ahead.
There you go.
What do you think? Take it away, Jason.
Your new nickname is Rip from Yellowstone. How's everybody doing? It's so awesome to see everybody in person. I know you've probably heard that ad nauseum, but it is quite a pleasure to see all the faces of our customers that really have believed in us and stuck with us when we started this crazy journey, 3.5 years ago. All those bubbles, I don't know if you saw those bubbles on Rebecca's social listening chart. It actually reminded me of my very first CX project. It was, I think, 1995. They didn't call it CX back then. They called it continual improvement. And I was sharpening my chops, my operations chops in the trash business, in literally the garbage industry. And of course, this was before you had email even, right? And we were getting all kinds of phone call complaints. And I was fresh out of MBA school and thought I knew everything. And I had gone and looked at all the complaints, and I went to the general manager and I said, I know what we need to do. We have to fix our routing so that we essentially foolproof it so that you can't miss somebody. Because when you miss somebody, they get really upset and they call and want to cancel. And he didn't really say anything. And a couple weeks later, I showed up in my office, and there was this giant map of the city of Charlotte, and there was 4,000 stick pins and a letter that said, have at it. And that was my introduction to the world of CX, and you literally had to hand route all the trucks. But I learned a lesson about how hard it is, and really understanding what to do with all this data and turn it into something meaningful. I fast forward to my time at Intel when I had every resource I could have ever asked for, literally a blank check, and it's still really hard to be a CX practitioner. It's not necessarily hard to go ask people questions, but it's really hard to aggregate it and turn into something. And so I talk about reflection. The last time we were in person was in San Diego, and I told Michael Furtick, our founder, I said, I remember leaving there. I was so excited, but also really frustrated, because we knew that we were going to change the vision and the direction of the company. And we knew that we had all the tools in the bag to be a great CX company, but none of our customers really knew what all we did. And so I told Michael, I said, I'm not leaving Nashville until I at least make sure that everybody knows exactly what we do and how we do it internally and how we can help them. So the last thing as part of the open, as part of that reflection, I went back and I pulled a report on our algorithm. Because if you ever met with me, I'm always talking about the algorithm and the math, but we did 1 trillion calculations last year with a T. I actually called Pranav and I said, did I read that right? And he said, yeah, 1 trillion calculations over the last year. So I think that's super cool. 1 trillion of anything is a lot. But what a long way that we've come. And at the end of the day, if you're a CX practitioner, we're all trying to do the same thing. We're all trying to grow our business, and we're trying to create happy customers, hopefully will tell others, also happy employees. We all recognize the importance of the data. You can read the slide, but we almost all recognize how difficult it is to do something about it. And we're all on the same page until this point, and after that is when things start to get a little haywire. And what I would kind of challenge you all to think about in your role, whether it's a marketeer or a CX practitioner or a little bit of both, is what are you really trying to do? And what I would argue is that what you really are culture champions. And when you start down this path of culture champion, being a CX practitioner or a marketeer, you really end up in one of two places. You're either somebody that's driving a culture of chasing a score, or you're driving a culture of someone that's chasing continual improvement. And what we're here to do is help you chase the latter. We want to enable you to chase continual improvement and really help you understand what the data is telling you and what you need to do. And if you're fly on the wall in our office, you will hear this 100 times. It's the holy grail of CX is tell me what to do. There's no shortage of people at your companies who want to help. Aggregating data and turning it into something actionable is incredibly difficult. So Our longer term vision is tell you exactly what to do. But our company isn't unlike, who saw this morning when Pranav and Phil did this? All right, be honest, don't lie. How many, raise your hand if you know how to build a journey map. Legit. Not a lot. Well, somebody's got to raise their hand. I mean, hell, you all work here. I know you know how to do it. Keep it up if you know how to make it pretty like that. I know you don't know how to do that. This is where it all starts. If you're a practitioner, you have a desired outcome. And you start from a place, I know where I am today. This is what our customers go through today. But if you didn't really get into what Pranav and Phil were saying, this is about how you score each individual component of the journey. Think about how powerful this is for you. And you talk about a world of democratized data. Your ability to take something like this to your C-level or to your peers or to the folks that work for you and say, this is how we're doing. Every single component of this, by the way, is already built. What Pranav and Amit are doing is making it pretty and making it so that you can do this by yourself. But this is a pretty big innovation, something I'm super excited about. So I hope that you think that that's cool as part of us enabling your CX capabilities. After that, after you know what your journey is and what you're trying to accomplish, make the ask. Now, I purposefully made them put surveys in here because I want to make sure everybody knew that we don't just do reviews. We do a ton of surveys. But you got to be able to meet your customers where they want to be met. If you don't, they're not going to give you the right kind of feedback. They're not going to give you honest feedback. I mean, if I tell Scott, hey, Scott, listen, I need you to take this survey, but I don't get my bonus if I don't get all 5 stars, all right? How often does that happen? You got to meet them where the customers are going to tell you the truth. So whether it's an email survey or a text survey or a conversational survey or a survey that turns into a review or just a review, we do all that. And we do it at scale. I think last year we did somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 million surveys and 125 million reviews that we processed. So again, think about that at scale. After you make the ask, then you got to process the feedback. I loved how he talked about earlier where she used to have to get magic markers. She had her system down, right? I remember doing the exact same thing. We do that for you. We help you understand the sentiment. We help you understand the topic. We help you understand the subject matter so that you don't have to. And why is that important? It's important because a lot of you are probably under-resourced. You don't know what to do with the data. You don't know how to really process it in a way that leads you to this next place of getting able to begin to take action. But I don't know if you're also aware, last year we were actually awarded Gartner Magic Quadrant status and Forrester Wave status for the voice of the customer category. So we're exceptionally proud of that, and we thank you. After we process it, you got to aggregate it. And what if you could aggregate all of your feedback and know how it compares to your competition? You saw a little bit of that earlier today, but 3 years ago we didn't have that capability. We listened to our customers. That journey map capability came from, actually I think it was Banner, Atrium, and Nissan helped us with that. So helping you understand where you need to go, get that feedback out there, get it analyzed and get it aggregated is really gets you to the hard part. And this is the real practitioner gap that I see at least. But analyzing and prioritizing that data. Stack ranking it in a way that allows you to know what do we have, what are the quick wins, what are the things that we can go do right now, what do we have to take to our executive team and get investment for. But this is what this is geared to do. This is the beginning of tell me what to do. The location-based nature of our platform is really what helps set it apart. If you've got a problem with your food quality with your restaurant in Charlotte, North Carolina, you want to be able to get to that specific location. Or maybe it's a problem with the region manager or the zone manager. If you've got a terrible process in your finance department at your car dealerships all run by the same general manager, you can uncover that with this. Lights out in the hallway at the apartment complex or in the parking lot. Same type of thing. Get as granular as you need to be able to help your customers. And I will say this, we also note that this isn't something that inherently people have internally. So I'm actually proud to announce, I don't know where, is Dave Mingle out in the audience somewhere? Raise your hand, Dave. He's probably not here. All right. Any rate, Dave is our resident GOAT, as we call him, greatest of all time. He is a phenomenal CX practitioner. We're launching a new SKU today for what we call CX Premium Insights. So if this isn't enough and you still want to take it to the next level, we've got data scientists and folks who are experts in analytics that can help you process this and really help you get to tell me what to do. And then last but not least, the lost child of CX, act, do something about it. You've actually heard this a couple of times, but once you know where the issues are, wrap them up and use our actions tool and send it out to the people who can do something about it, right this second. Get it to the general manager, get it to the leadership, whoever you need to, but close that loop. And if you need to do something like throw it into Slack, we can help you do that too. How easy can we make this for you to be an effective CX practitioner in a world of data that is just coming from everywhere? I'm about to bring out our new Chief People Officer to the stage, but before I do, I really hope that this resonates how much you all have done for us, and hopefully what all we've given back to you. But this notion of we are building and we have built and are continuing to build a platform that is essentially gives you out-of-the-box CX capability, soup to nuts, we think is pretty special. And so as much as I want to thank our customers, I really want to say thank you to our employees. In the last three and a half years, we've grown from 200 people to 700 people. And I wish that you could see them at work. I wish you could see how enthusiastic they are, how hard they want or how much they want to do to ensure your success. Look, we're far from perfect, and I'm certainly the first to admit that. I appreciate our customers' patience when we do mess up. But I can honestly say if you're behind the scenes at our company, you got 700 grinders in there that are full of passion, full of enthusiasm, full of grit, full of determination, and they care about you, and they care about your companies, and they care about your customers, and they care about your success. So thank you all for taking a few minutes to hear me go. I appreciate it. I'm going to bring out Michael Arisman,